The war in Ukraine is a tragedy. It is a complex conflict with a long history. The war began in 2014. It escalated dramatically in 2022. Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. This invasion has caused immense suffering. It has also destabilized the region and the world. Understanding this conflict requires careful examination. We must consider the perspectives of both sides. Russia and Ukraine each have their own narratives. These narratives are rooted in history, identity, and geopolitics. This essay aims to provide an objective analysis. It will examine the key arguments from both sides. It will also discuss the international community's role in this conflict. Finally, it will emphasize the urgent need for a peaceful resolution. The path to peace is fraught with challenges, yet dialogue and diplomacy are essential. The international community must work together. We must find a solution that respects the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. Russia views the conflict in Ukraine through a different lens. It claims its actions are justified by security concerns. Russia argues that NATO expansion eastward poses a threat. It sees Ukraine's potential membership in NATO as unacceptable. Moscow also emphasizes historical and cultural ties with Ukraine. It views Ukraine as an artificial creation. Russia believes that Ukraine is an integral part of its own historical sphere of influence. Furthermore, Russia alleges discrimination against Russian speakers in Ukraine. It claims that its military intervention is necessary to protect these populations. This narrative has been widely disputed. However, it remains a key pillar of Russia's justification for the war. Russia's actions have been met with condemnation from many countries. Yet, it is important to understand the Kremlin's perspective. This understanding is crucial for any attempt at dialogue and conflict resolution. Ukraine's perspective is diametrically opposed to Russia's. Kiev vehemently rejects Moscow's claims. It views the conflict as an unprovoked act of aggression. Ukraine maintains that it is merely defending its sovereignty and territorial integrity. Ukraine argues that it is a sovereign nation. It has the right to choose its own alliances. This includes the right to seek membership in NATO. Ukraine sees NATO membership as a guarantee of its security against Russian aggression. Kiev also rejects Russia's historical claims. It argues that Ukraine has a distinct history and identity. Ukraine emphasizes that it was a founding member of the Soviet Union. It was not merely a subordinate entity within Russia. The Ukrainian people have demonstrated remarkable resilience. They have mobilized to defend their country. Their determination underscores the importance of upholding international law and the right to self-determination. Section 4. The international stage, a divided world, grapples with the conflict. The Russia-Ukraine war has divided the international community. Western countries have largely condemned Russia's actions. They have imposed sanctions and provided military aid to Ukraine. The United States and its European allies have been vocal in their support for Ukraine. They view Russia's invasion as a violation of international law. They see it as a threat to the international order. However, other countries have adopted a more neutral stance. Some have close ties to Russia. Others are wary of getting involved in a conflict between major powers. This division has complicated efforts to find a diplomatic solution. The war in Ukraine has highlighted the complexities of international relations. It has also underscored the need for a rules-based international order. Section 5. The quest for peace, shared responsibility, and the urgency of diplomacy. The human cost of the war in Ukraine is immeasurable. Thousands of civilians have been killed. Millions have been displaced from their homes. The conflict has also had a devastating impact on the Ukrainian economy. Ending the violence and alleviating the suffering must be the top priority. This requires a concerted effort from the international community. It is crucial to establish channels of communication. Dialogue must be encouraged between all parties. While Russia bears primary responsibility for the war, finding a peaceful resolution requires compromise from all sides. The international community must work together to create a climate conducive to negotiations. The pursuit of peace is a collective responsibility. It demands a commitment to diplomacy, dialogue, and a shared future free from violence. Section 6. A long road ahead, the uncertain future of the Russia-Ukraine war. The Russia-Ukraine war is a tragedy with far-reaching consequences. It is a stark reminder of the fragility of peace. The conflict has exposed the fault lines in the international system. The path to peace is uncertain. However, it is a path that must be pursued relentlessly. The international community must remain engaged. We must support diplomatic efforts. The future of Ukraine hangs in the balance. The principles of sovereignty, territorial integrity, and the peaceful resolution of disputes are at stake. The war in Ukraine is a tragedy for all involved. It is a reminder that peace is precious and must be protected.